Seriously. All right, whenever your co-hosted, Sarah. So, you already did it. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the new world with the new time, new clocks. My thought for you that I've been playing with this week, because I'm calling it Shiva week because it was Shivaratri on Thursday. And so why give up on that? Why ever give up on that? Is I've been meditating on this feeling that Shiva is that part of us or the nature of us that is able to transcend boundaries. So I've been calling it the rebelliousness of Shiva, because in all of the stories, right, Shiva has his role in the cosmos. He has his role of what he's supposed to play, right? The dissolving energy, the transformative energy. But in all of the stories of him as a character, it's a role that he says, I don't want to play this role. Right? He says, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be part of this, because this nature of the world where there's so much confusion, there's so much suffering. He says, why would I play into that? Why would I do that? Right? So the stories are so much about his rebelliousness, saying, I refuse to become caught in this. I refuse to become a part of this. I'm going to hold myself in that state of awareness. Right? And so when you see him as a character, we're told, right? And he is the perfect meditator. He's the one who's always in that state of perfect equanimity, no matter what's going on. But there's that rebelliousness that says, I refuse to play a part that doesn't fit with who I am. I refuse to pretend to be something that I'm not. Right? And so that rebelliousness, the ability to say, I can be in this world, but I can transcend the roles that I play. I can transcend the boundaries that are placed in front of me of this is how it's supposed to go, right? That structuredness of the world. He says it's not real, right? Don't get serious about it. Like the clocks, right? You can change the clock anytime you want. Do whatever you want with time. Doesn't matter. It's not real. What is real, right, is the way that we have the loving awareness of being in this world. Right. So what does draw Shiva in as a character, what draws him into actually doing his job, right, quote unquote, in the world, is love. It's Shakti. It's the goddess that draws him in and says, you have to be part of this play because this play is joyful. So it's only through that loving connection that he says, I will play a part in this world. And so as yogis, that's what we're asked to mirror, is that Shiva is us, right? That there's the awareness in us that is always in that state of equanimity. And that if what draws us into the world is that loving awareness, right, joyfulness, then whatever we create in this world is not going to be bound by suffering. It won't be bound by all those bits and pieces that we're sure are the lines that we're supposed to color inside, right? We won't get stuck in that. So the rebelliousness of Shiva, the rebelliousness of your soul that says, I can be in this world, but I'm not caught in it. I will not be caught in it. That's the yogi, right? So as yogis, we're always walking sort of in and out of those lines of the structured way of thinking that this is the way the world is. And instead we're working from, but this is the loving awareness of my soul. So practice that, being in the loving awareness of your soul, right? Comfortable seat if you're not there already. But the idea that you can actually transcend, not by being a rebel, you don't have to throw your life away, but you can transcend that kind of narrow perspective of this is the forwardness of my life. This is what I have to do day by day, step by step. And you can get back to that feeling of being in ecstatic, I was saying yesterday, intoxicated love. So with the eyes closed, find your breath. As you're breathing, as you inhale, let the breath flow in from infinity. You don't know where it comes from. And as you exhale, imagine that breath spreading out from you like ripples or sound waves. And it goes beyond, beyond, beyond what you can see and what you can feel, but it continues on forever. And the breath, when it comes to you, comes from that far away, from forever far away. You breathe it in, ecstatic. As you exhale, you release it back into the world with that same feeling of ecstasy. It goes where it goes. So keep breathing in that way, where every breath, as you are breathing in this feeling of intoxication with the world, a love for it. Don't worry about all the pieces that don't feel that way. Just breathe in where there's love. As you exhale, breathe out that same feeling of love for the world, love for your life, love for this body, this mind, for the soul that's behind it, within it. So you use your whole breath. And keep that visual of the breath going beyond what you can hold, what you can touch. It's not yours. So you're breathing in the energy of Shakti. And breathing out the energy of Shakti. It touches you, but it's not yours. You dance with it, but it's not yours. We meditate so that we can feel ourselves. The breath is an extension of not our minds or our bodies, but of our souls. So there's no question, there's no thought that this breath is mine. There's just a feeling that this breath is me. It's a universal feeling of love is me. It's not that I have it or I don't have it, it simply is. And I exist within it. You breathe that in. And one more deep breath. Take the arms up overhead, reaching to the sky. Good. Reach through your fingertips and then hug those arms towards each other like it's a pillar. Good. Like it's a channel. Good. You don't have to hold the hands, but squeeze the arms so that there's a strength to that reaching. Pull up through your armpits, press down through your seat. Good. And then as you exhale, hands come together. Bring those hands straight down the center line to the heart. Thumbs meet at the heart center. Shiva and Shakti sit united. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. And letting the eyes remain closed, hands remaining at your heart center, please. Start to circle your torso, making nice big spirals with the hands at the heart. Good. Again, yesterday I was talking about this rebelliousness of Shiva as being the idea of being intoxicated, not drunk, but intoxicated. Right? So much a part of your practice, or so much enlivened by the energy that is you, the prana that is you, the Shakti that is you, that you forget that you have a mind. That you forget that your body has aches and pains and whatever it has. Right? This is the power that yoga gives us, or that it offers to us, is to go beyond that feeling that what you feel as your body and your mind is all you can feel. No way, Jose. So turn yourself over and over and over. Find the spine moving, moving, moving. Good. And then circle yourself the other way. Because everything in my life right now is really a metaphor of whatever my daughter is doing. Right? This idea of being intoxicated really make me think she's at that age now where she started doing the thing where she just spins and spins and spins and spins and spins. Right? Why? Just to see what it's like to be dizzy. Because it's so fun to be dizzy and fall down, right? And then she cries when she falls down, but that's us. Can you remember a time though when that's how you lived, right? When you went seeking experience and said, I wonder what it would feel like to be out of my normal. And yeah, I mean, we were like, yeah, I was drunk a lot. Not like that. But the innocence of, I want to feel more than just what is that structured body and mind, that this is what a good life is supposed to be. How about a full life where you get dizzy, where you're ecstatic, where you forget that you have a body and a mind and you just feel yourself as a enlivened soul. Come back to stillness, please. Stretch your arms all the way up to the sky again. Squeeze those arms. If you feel a little dizzy, good job. You did it right. Twist to your right, please. Left hand to right knee, right fingertips behind you. Good. Deep breath in. As you exhale, draw the rib cage in, drop into your seat. Good. And then keep the left hand at the knee. Take your right arm up off the floor. Lean to your left, please. Taking that arm over the ear. Good. Keep using that left hand. Drag yourself into the twist a little deeper. So bend that elbow so you actually turn your ribs a little more and then lean a little more. Good. And now take that right hand behind your head, please. The arm that's in the air, hand behind your head. Good. Press your head back into your hand and still leaning. One more breath. Good. Come all the way back up. Nice job, you guys. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Hug again, like you're creating that pillar. Squeeze. And then go ahead and twist to the left, please. Right hand to outer left knee, left hand behind you. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, soften your ribs back, drop into your seat. This is how we start to get into that middle part of the back. Good. And then really give a little squeeze of that right hand to your left knee. So you bend the elbow a little bit. Take your left hand up off the floor and lean to the right. Good. And keep using that right hand to keep turning your ribs, but keep softening your rib cage back. So as you're twisting, don't let yourself lean forward. Pull the rib cage in and open side to side, right and left. Good. And then take that left hand behind your head, the arm that's in the air, hand behind your head. Press your head back so you get your throat involved. You feel that opening through the armpit and then lean a little bit more. Nice, Andy. Nice, Sarah. Good, Heidi. Good. Nice, Beth and Sue. Come all the way back up, please. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Interlace your fingers. Press heels of the hands up towards the ceiling. Press out. Nice. Hug those upper arms and then drag your armpits down and pull up through the crown of your head. So you're keeping the arms straight, but pull down through your armpits, push up through the crown of your head so your shoulders go wide away from your ears. Nice. And then release the hands out and down. Good. Roll forward onto hands and knees. Come into child's pose, knees nice and wide, big toes together to touch. Letting your hips come back towards your heels. Good. I was doing this yesterday morning and I liked it a lot, so I'm doing it again. Take your hands back behind you in your child's pose. Interlace your fingers at the low spine. And then start to roll up to the crown of your head, round your back, and stretch the arms up and over any amount. Good. If having the arms up and over doesn't feel like it's accessible for the shoulders, keep your hands just holding your ankles, but still roll up to the crown of your head. Nice, Alana. Good. And then release back down, please. Hips back down to the floor. Keep your hands clasped. Good. Inhale the breath. And then again, roll up to the crown of your head, taking the arms up and over, lifting through your low belly. So draw those hip points really up off of your thighs and squeeze those upper arms. Good. And then roll back, hip stack down to your heels. One more time like that if you can. Deep breath in. And then roll up to the crown of the head, taking the hips off of the heels, round, round, round. Pull up through your ribs, pull up through your low belly. There should be very little weight on your head, if any. Good. And then roll yourself back down. Release the hands, please, out in front of you. Good. Nice wide arms. Good. So maybe as wide as your mat. Come up on your fingertips. Good. And up on your fingertips, you feel your armpits lift. So those outer edges of the shoulder blades are kind of lifting away from the floor. Now pull those towards the center of your back, almost like you're trying to create a triangle with those shoulder blade muscles. They're drawing towards each other at the middle of your back. Good. And the armpits stay lifted. Good. Press into your fingertips. Drag back on your hands and feel your chest pulling forward. Awesome. One more breath. And then release, please. Walk yourself up to hands and knees. Beautiful. Right arm comes out wide to the right. Take that arm behind your left wrist. Right shoulder finds the floor. Walk that left arm forward towards straight. Thread the needle. Good. Right arm underneath. Nice. Press into your shins, please. Good. And then if you'd like, go ahead and extend that left leg back behind you. Good. It can be tucked on the floor or lifted, your choice. Just make sure that if you're lifting the leg, you're not adding weight onto the side of your neck. Make sure that you're really pressing through that right shin, that your legs are holding your legs. Good. One more breath, you guys, flexing that foot if it's in the air. Nice job. Nice, Ralph. Nice, Mark. Good, Lauren. And then go ahead and release, please. Bring it all the way back to hands and knees. Good. Do a little bit of cat and cow. Move your spine. Good. And then come back to stillness, please. Nice. Left arm comes out wide to the left, threading the needle on the other side. Take that arm behind your right wrist, shoulder finds the floor, or maybe it doesn't, but you're still reaching under and pressing into that forearm, whatever does reach the floor. Right arm extends forward over the top of your head. Good. And you can work here to let that right hand move more towards the center of your mat. The more it moves towards the center of your mat, the more you have the opportunity to twist your rib cage open more. Good. And then an option is to reach the right leg back behind you, extend it. Toes can stay tucked on the floor, or you can lift the leg up in the air if you choose. Good. If you're lifting the leg, make sure you're not dropping your weight onto your neck. Make sure that you're pushing through that left shoulder, that you're engaging through your left armpit. Good. Through the left shin, sorry. Yep. You got it. Good, you guys. Deep breath. And then release that foot to the floor, please. Bring it all the way back up to hands and knees. Good. Press into your hands, round your back into cat. So just round your back all the way into the cat position of cat and cow and stay there. Good. So as you press into your hands here and you press through the back of your rib cage, pull up through the low place of your belly. So your hip points are lifting up off of your thighs. Good. And now pull back on your hands and feel your shoulders, tops of your shoulders go wide away from your ears. So drag back and push through the crown of your head, even though you're still rounded. Nice. You pull the shoulder blades back. You pull the armpits down. Good. Let your weight move forward so it's on top of your wrist, Dana. There you go. Now pull your shoulder blades down. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Nice, you guys. Now maintain that as much as you can and start to lift your chest up so you come back to a neutral spine. But you're keeping your ribs drawn in so much, it feels like you never let go of that cat position. But collarbones up, collarbones up, collarbones up. Good. Keep your low belly lifted up off of your thighs. Keep pushing into your hands. Nice. And then tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog. Good. With that same feeling that low place of your rib cage, the middle place of your back stays super, super full. Good. And your collarbones lift up and you drag back on your hands. Keep dragging back on your hands and it will take a lot of that pressure out of your wrists. Good. One more breath. And then drop the knees back to the floor, please. Good. Keep your right hand where it is on the mat, pressing down. And then take your left hand to your right wrist. So your right hand is pushing down. You're taking your hand to, you're actually squeezing your wrist, your forearm right above the wrist. And you're pulling up. So your right hand is pushing down into the floor. Your left hand is holding your forearm just above the wrist and pulling up. So decompress your own wrist, right? Push down through the hand and pull up. Make sure that as you're pushing down, you're not pushing just into the heel of your hand. You're pushing into the space behind your knuckles. So move your weight forward towards your fingertips in your hands and pull up. Good. And then release that. Try the other side. Left hand plants. Good. Right hand reaches for the wrist or the forearm and pull up. So you should be able to feel the skin of your forearm being pulled, right? You're pulling up with your right hand and you're pressing down and out through your left fingertips, through your left knuckles. Good. So watch that your weight isn't falling all into the wrist or not falling all into the heel of the hand. Bring it forward. Nice. And then release that. Good job. Come into a modified down dog or a puppy pose. Walk your hands forward. Knees stay on the floor. So your arms come forward into down dog, but your knees are on the floor. Good. Shins are on the floor. Press down. Don't drop your ribs here, right? Find that feeling where your ribs are in that cat position, but your collarbones are lifting up, up, up. Good, right? Shiva energy, there's no rules. It's not one pose or the other. It's just what makes you feel completely full in your body. Good. Come up on your fingertips here in this modified down dog. Good. The same idea is draw those lower armpits, the lower shoulder blades into that triangle in the middle of your back. So pull them down and in. Good. Feel your armpits stay nice and lifted, your wrists nice and open, and see if you can drag back on your hands, get that feeling of pulling up through your wrists, pulling back through the wrists. Good. Your arms are pulling into the shoulders, not the other way. Good. And then release that, please. Plant the hands to flat. Create that same sensation. Fingers spread nice and wide. Press down into the hands through the knuckles, through the fingertips, but pull up. Try and pull those armpits up. Try and pull those shoulder blades up towards the middle of your back, like there's that hand pulling at your forearms again. Pull up. And then tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog. Keep your ribs drawing in. Good. Work from your back. This is one of those secrets, is down dog. If we're not working in our back, all of our weight goes into our hands. So work from your back. Hug those shoulder blades towards each other. Squeeze your forearms in, right and left, but pull up. Press out through your fingers, not the heels of your hands. Good. Right leg up and back behind you. Down dog, split. Nice. Don't lose anything in your ribs when you do that. And then step that right foot forward between the hands. Lunge. Good. Drop the back heel. Baby toe parallels back of your mat. Take both hands to the inside of your front foot. Good. Plant that right hand, right forearm, right inside your right shin. You can use a block if you need. Left arm to the sky. So a modified side angle or a different version of side angle. Good. Yep. Press that forearm against the shin and squeeze your shin against that forearm. Good. And then lift your back thigh a little higher. Yep. Nice, you guys. One more breath. Sweep that left arm over the ear if you'd like. Reach. Good. And then cartwheel the arms up to warrior two. Pretend that's rest. Good. Left hand comes down the back thigh. Please, right arm reaches up to the sky. Reverse warrior. And then bend that right elbow. Place the hand behind your heart. And you're reaching your left hand up to hold the tip of your elbow. So don't reach for your hand, not go Mukhasana, but reach for the top, the tip of your elbow. So you're just reaching to add a little bit more stretch to that right arm. Good. So you're not reaching underneath or behind you. You're reaching up to the tip of that right elbow. Good. Come all the way back up to center, arms nice and wide, letter T. Straighten the right thigh, please. Good. And then extend that right rib cage forward for triangle, reach. And then let that right hand touch down, front leg, floor, or block. Left arm to the sky. Love it if you have the ability to bring that right forearm up against your right shin again, just like you did in side angle. So bring it to the inside so that you can push your forearm up against your shin and squeeze your shin against your forearm. And then turn your rib cage a little more towards the sky. Left rib cage reaches up. Pull through your left hand. Pull through your left wrist. Like literally someone is tugging on that wrist to pull you up. So almost no weight on that right hand at all. Good. If you can hover in your triangle with no weight, go for that. Nice. Good, you guys. And then bend that right knee again, please. Release the hands down to the floor. Spin your back heel up. Drop that back knee. Good. And then do some circles with that right hip. Move it, move it, move it. Nice, you guys. Yeah, don't do nice tame circles either. Do real ones. Again, the class is about being rebellious, right? Don't stay in that state of structured, this is as far as I ever go in this movement, or I'm only going to go as far as what feels convenient. Right? Shiva is this energy that says you are huge. You're the cosmos. Don't limit yourself to I can only go this far because going further than that feels like it's work, right? Or going further than that might mean that I challenge something in myself, right? Be willing to throw out all of your structured ideas about what you are and what you aren't, right? The ecstatic love of I'm just here. So how fast can I spin? How far can I go? How big can I get? Not thrill seeking, but love seeking. Joy seeking. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Both hands come inside the front foot. Walk yourself towards that upper left-hand corner of your mat. Come down to your forearms if you'd like, or stay where you are. Good. You can always put blocks underneath the elbows if the floor is forever far away. Nice. Make sure your front heel stays planted. And in this position, because you're holding it for a while, try not to let your knee come too far beyond the ankle. Keep it more stacked on top. Good, especially if your knees tend to be a little cranky, try and keep that alignment. Nice, you guys. Good. The state of samadhi is said to be akin to that kind of intoxicated or ecstatic state. We are no longer wondering, how am I, this body and mind, supposed to figure out how to be enlightened, but where you feel that there is already a completeness in you and you're so absorbed in it that you forget. You just forget that there's a body and a mind to worry about. So if that's not how you practice, if that's not what you're experiencing or even thinking that you want to experience with your practice, that limitation is going to hold you, right? How willing you are to step beyond the structures of, but this is what I've learned works for me. Shiva says, don't just do what works for you, what keeps you steady in the world. He says, go beyond that, be more than that. What keeps you waking up every day saying joyfully, I'm going to do what's in front of me to do, not out of obligation. One more breath where you are. Good. And then walk yourself back up, please. Nice job. Lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Remembering, so every down dog is the remembrance that you're not dropping your weight into your hands, but you're using your hands to pull up, pull the armpits forward, slightly forward, but the shoulder blade armpits pull up towards your hips, squeeze in. Good. Maybe even lift up onto your fingertips in your down dog, just to prove to yourself that you really can do this in your back, right? Rib cage in. Yeah, if you don't draw up through that lower rib cage, those back muscles don't have as much ability to engage. So draw the ribs in. Nice. And then let the hands go back to flat. Nice job. Left leg up and back, down dog split. I know, don't fall into your hands. Pull back through your thighs. Good. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Good. Drop the back heel, baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Good. Take both hands inside the front foot. And then you're bringing that left forearm inside your left shin. So you're pressing the forearm up against the front knee or up against the front shin. Right arm comes to the sky. So like your inside angle. Nice, Perry. Good, Harriet. Nice, Mia. Sandy, squeeze that left butt cheek back and in just a little bit. Nice job. Good, Jessica. Melody. Nice, you guys. Press the shin against the knee. The shin pulls in and your butt squeezes back. Good. Right arm over the ear. Last breath. Reach. Nice, Jan. Extend, extend, extend. Good. And then don't change the legs. Cartwheel the arms up to warrior two. Nice, Jen. Good. Take that right hand down the back thigh. Left palm spins up and back. Reverse warrior. Good. And then that arm that's in the air, bend the elbow. Take the hand to the back of your heart. And then you're reaching the right arm up to the ceiling as well. So don't bend the elbow and reach back behind you. Reach up to the sky. And then take that hand to the tip of your elbow so that you're lengthening. You're drawing that left arm a little bit longer. Good. And you're leaning back. So really lean back. Get into your rib cage. And as you lean back, it makes space at the front of your pelvis. Let your thigh go deeper. Yeah, don't be scared. There you go. Awesome. Really beautiful, you guys. Nice, Valerie and Alana. Good. Come all the way back up, arms wide. Straighten that front thigh, please. Again, super excited to straighten your front thigh and get taller. And then extend that left rib cage forward for triangle. Reach, 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 reach. And then let that hand touch down, front leg, floor, or block. Again, if you can, place that forearm to the inside of your shin. So again, you can push the forearm up against your shin and squeeze your shin in against your forearm. And then like someone is tugging on your right wrist, the arm that's in the air, feel your right rib cage lift higher. Feel your rib cage in general lift higher away from the floor and rotate heart to the sky. Good. Almost like you're going to turn triangle into a back bend. Open, open, open. Nice, Marlene. Good, Teresa. Nice, Laura. Awesome, you guys. Good, Lynn. Beautiful. Bend that left knee again, please. Release both hands down to the floor. Spin your back heel up. Good. Drop the back knee. And then start to make big circles with that left hip. Spin and spin and spin. Good. So we run away, I think, from this word ecstasy a lot. Because we somehow think that, well, that's not going to fit into this ordered, way of being in the world. That's not going to fit with my responsibilities. It's not going to fit with what I have to do. And how could I be that ecstatic and happy when so many are suffering? And Shiva, the voice of Shiva, says, you're really going to get caught in that? Right? You're really going to give up the fullness of your soul for that? Why? Don't understand. Right? Because there's a part of us that never can give up on that state of being in equanimity. That's the Shiva energy, the rebelliousness, right? We call it, because it's counter to what the mind says has to continue. And that part of your soul says, no, it doesn't. I can change the clock anytime I want. I can change this anytime I want. I'm not bound by anything except my own desire to participate in the world. So do it from a loving place. Do it because of love. Because you're ecstatic. Be rebellious. Good. Nice, Perry. Bring yourself back to stillness, please. Both hands to the inside of your front foot. Walk to the upper right-hand corner of your mat. Go ahead, come down to your forearms if that's available. You can use blocks underneath the forearms if you need. Or stay on fingertips. Again, that might be the place that gives your upper back and your chest more space to breathe. And if that's true, then don't give up on that. Good. Watch that your front foot is able to stay flat, and that your knee is not coming too far beyond the ankle. Again, it can come slightly forward if it needs to, but since you're holding, try and keep the knee more on top of the ankle and not falling in or out. Good. So Danielle, I like the position that you're in, but if you want to have that back knee on the floor when the hips square, that might also feel better. Good. Even here, you guys, that inner shin of the front leg is pushing. So the inner thigh is pushing slightly wide and the big toe mound is rooting down. So the shin is still awake, right? It's being held steady. Good. Nice, you guys. I'm sure you've heard this week, if you've been in class at all, that Shivaratri is that celebration where Shiva takes a night off from his cosmic dance that keeps the world moving, that keeps the experience of embodiment moving. Takes the night off, and so we're asked to stay up, wake up, so that we're the ones that keep the world moving. And the suggestion is, don't keep the world moving from your mind that says, well, I need, this to follow that, to follow that, to follow that. I need that progression. I need these structures to stay as they are. That's not what keeps the world moving, right? What keeps this embodiment going is this dance between Shiva and Shakti. And it's a love affair, the lover and the beloved. The love affair between the energy that moves and twirls and twirls and twirls and the energy that is able to be in that but not disturbed, right? To watch that dance and enjoy it, but not forget that it's always in a state of completeness. So the question is, did you wake up or did you decide to just go to bed? Did you let yourself become ecstatic? Or are you hanging out in your mind that says, yeah, I've got stuff to do? One more breath. And then walk yourself back up. Nice job. Lift that back knee, please. Step yourself back to downward facing dog. Good. Slide forward, plank pose, upward push up. And then lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need. Nice. And then take the arms nice and wide, a wide-armed cobra. So take the hands maybe off of your mat. Up on your fingertips, bend your elbows. Rotate those elbows up towards the top of your mat or towards the top of your head. Good. So you open up the armpits a lot. And then you keep that rotation. So as you start to lift up into cobra, you're pulling your chest forward beyond your fingertips and then lift up so that that openness of your chest stays. Your arm bones are drawing in towards the shoulder socket. Good. And then let yourself move side to side. Do that twisting action we call the intoxicated cobra. Keep your elbows nice and wide. Move from your rib cage. So So don't just turn your head, right? Move your ribs, move your armpits, move your hips. Good. And I definitely, my mind is one of those minds that I don't always love the sort of symbolic things. We say the intoxicated cobra. I'm like, leave me alone. Just let me do cobra, okay? You know, like I don't want to get frilly with this. So don't get frilly with it, but find your spine, right? I understand. You don't have to think of it as a dance if you don't want to, but just move in a way that you wouldn't usually move. Good. And then slowly release, come back down to your belly, please. Stretch your arms straight out in front of you. Good, come up on your fingertips. Yeah, nice. Arms are extended up on fingertips. Good, lift just your legs up, please. Nice, and then start to kick your legs like you're swimming. So from your inner thighs, flutter your legs. Yeah, so don't bend the knees, Perry, keep the knees straight. From your inner thighs, flutter your legs like you're swimming. Inner thighs, inner thighs, inner thighs. So you're pressing down through the front of your pelvis, but you want to lift those legs kind of as high as you can and then flutter them. Good. And stay on your fingertips. Keep those armpits drawing down towards your hips. You keep that kind of triangle energy at your middle back. Good. Flutter your feet a little faster. Nice. If this feels like it's really difficult, do it every day for a week. Good. Then inhale, lift both legs up. Good. Now take your heart just as high as your legs. Float the arms up as well. I know. Usually I would say make sure they stay in line with your ears, but I'm okay. Lift your heart as high as your legs and take your arms up as high as they'll go. Good. Nice, 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 nice. And then slowly release back to your belly, please. Make a pillow with your hands or turn one cheek to the side, whatever feels the most relaxing to you in this moment. Find your breath. It is a real thing. It's said that when we exercise the body strongly, part of what feels so good is not just circulation and not just increased oxygenation and all of those things, but we literally, endorphins. What are endorphins? It's your own body's way of being ecstatic. There's an ecstasy to being fully engaged in your life. Even if something is hard, there's an ecstasy to being fully engaged. And as yogis, especially with this Shiva symbology, is that that's what we're asked to connect with. So we're offered to connect with. Know that there is that ecstasy that is always present. It's there in the equanimity. We think, well, that can't possibly be true. Those aren't synonyms. But it is. To be in that state of equanimity is to be in ecstasy, but not out of control. Right? It's to be intoxicated, but not drunk. So you're aware, but you no longer feel bound by those inhibitions of I have a body and a mind and I have to limit myself to that. No, you don't. Change the clocks. Nothing more direct to say that a lot of what we think is our structure of our day is arbitrary, then we can just change the clocks and suddenly time is different. It's only in your mind. So what is beyond your mind? It is timeless. This is part of what Shiva is he's beyond time. It's one of his names. He's the Lord of time. One more deep breath into the back of your body. So breathe into that back rib cage, into the lower spine. Good. And then walk the hands back in, please. Press up to hands and knees. Come back to child's pose for a breath. Knees nice and wide, big toes back together to touch, hips to your heels. Good. And then bring yourself back up to hands and knees and come back to downward facing dog. Nice. All right. Right leg up and back behind you. I was doing this yesterday too. You get to do it again if you were in class. Bend your knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, stack the right hip on top of the left, open. Good. Nice. Now you're going to start to draw that right knee towards your right armpit. So you're taking your thigh parallel to the floor. So the angle of the leg, right, is coming straight out from the hip. Good. Knee forward towards your armpit, parallel to the floor like a fire hydrant. So your inner thigh is still lifted. Yeah, you got it. Hips are still back. Nice, you guys. Good. And then straighten that leg back and up behind you, down dog split. In theory, you should do that like 20 times, but we're only going to do it once. And then step that right foot between the hands, lunge. Good. Walk your fingertips straight ahead, step up, standing split. This is for Lauren. Blocks underneath the hands if you need them. Good. And then bend both knees. Bend your standing knee and bend the knee that's in the air. Good. Bend both knees. So you drop in, feel your foot, and then widen your right inner thigh, right? Pull it wide and feel that right thigh crease pulling towards the wall behind you. Your knee is still bent. Get used to that position of holding with a bent knee. Good. Pull that right butt cheek back and in. Good. And then scoop your low belly. Push your butt towards the sky. Press out through both heels. So stretch both legs to straight. Ah, I know. And then inhale up onto your fingertips. Extend your spine. Good. And squeeze the ankles towards each other. Good. And pull that right butt cheek back and in. Bend the standing knee again. And pull that right butt cheek back and in. Keep your chest lifted. Good. And then press out through both legs again. Extend. Pull the top of your right thigh back, 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 back. Awesome. And then step all the way back to lunge. Drop that back knee to the floor. Nice, Alana. That was beautiful. Inhale both arms up, Anjaneyasana. Good. And then hands come together at the heart center, please. Prayer twist, left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Focus here on pressing that knee against the elbow. So you're pushing wide, not just through your knee, but through your inner thigh. Push your inner thighs away from each other. So Susan T, just watch that your knee is not falling in. Yeah, there you go. Just keep it on top of the heel. Awesome, you guys. And then optional here, stretch the arms, or the right arm at least, up to the sky. So keep the left elbow hooked. Take your right arm up to the sky. Good. And then you can turn that palm to face back, reach around, take the little half bind. So you're reaching around behind you to your low back or your outer left hip. And then really rotate your ribs to the sky. Nice, Teresa. Good, Andy. Beautiful, you guys. And then take that arm back to the sky. Nice, Valerie and Lori. Good. Nice, Jessica. Bring that hand back to the left hand. So you're back to that prayer twist. And then come back to center, arms to the sky. Inhale. Good. Let your hips move forward as you draw your low rib cage back and in. Reach. Again, someone's pulling at your wrist. Pull up. Touch the ceiling. Nice. Good, Meredith. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good. Both hands inside the front foot. Good. Take that right shoulder inside your right knee. Slide the hand behind the baby toe of your foot. So you're wrapping the forearm around the back of your calf. Good. And then lift your back knee up off the floor if you can. Good. Draw forward with your upper body. Keep the elbow slightly bent and squeeze back with your hips. So pull your hips back in space. Lift through that left inner thigh. Good. So the legs are holding themselves, right? That's the key here. And the upper body is drawing forward with the elbows bent. So you stay in the energy of your shoulders and back, elbows bent, and squeeze the upper back. Good. And then optional here, stretch your arms out wide. Keep that right arm underneath the knee into airplane arms. And if you want to go for the bind here, bend the elbows, reach around to hold hands at your low back. Your right arm is going to be wrapped around the underside of your right thigh. Good. Nice. Try and keep your chest towards the floor, Harriet, if you can. I know. Nice, Diane. Good. Nice, Alana. Slowly release, please. Unwind everything. Press back, downward facing dog. Good morning. And then drop down to your knees, please. Child's pose. I know I realize that was a lot of work.
I feel nauseous.
You feel nauseous.
I feel like I should apologize for asking.
My comedian's in the room. Peanut gallery. Find your breath. Even that, right? The experience of dizzy, dizzy, dizzy. Feel a little nauseous. You know what they say in Kundalini yoga, right? Is that the nausea is something moving.
Yeah.
Can be in, since we're doing more vinyasa style, can be that you're just dehydrated. So something else to pay attention to, right? Maybe a little tired because your biorhythms are a little confused right now. But nausea is not a problem. What happens is that we fall asleep to the changes or what it feels like to go beyond our boundaries. So we feel that little bit of nausea and we're like, I should probably stop. I should just go back to bed. Something's changing in me. I should probably stop. Be rebellious. Be ecstatic that you're feeling something that is big. Cannot be contained. Good. You got a whole second side to do. Not my fault. Come up to hands and knees. Downward facing dog. You got two sides. You got to do two sides. Left leg comes up and back, down dog split. Bend the knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, stack the left hand on top of the right. So just open the hip the way that you like, knee drawing back. Yeah, keep squeezing back on the hands. So again, you're keeping the work of down dog in your shoulders. Good. And then start to draw that left knee towards your left armpit. So the thigh parallels the floor. Your knee is pushing straight out from your hip. It's going to feel a lot harder to do. Don't complain about that. Draw your ribs in. Nice. You got it. Like a fire hydrant. Awesome. And then extend that leg back behind you. Nice, Laura. Down dog split. Good. Step the left foot forward between the hands. Lunge. Walk your fingertips straight ahead. Step up, standing split. Good. And if you need blocks, again, if your hands are not firmly settled on the floor, make sure you have blocks because you're here for a while, right? So don't make yourself crazy. Good. Bend both knees. And the idea here is that as you bend both knees is to get comfortable dropping your weight into that standing leg and then finding what it's like to pull up from your pelvis so that it doesn't have to be a straight leg for you to feel solid. I know it's more work, but keep that knee bent. Scoop your belly. Good. Widen that left inner thigh. Your standing thigh pushes wide. Good. And then start to straighten both legs. Extend out. Press out through your heels and push your butt to the sky. Good. And then come up on your fingertips. Straighten the arms as much as you can. Lengthen your spine. Chest up, chest up, chest up. Nice, Jen. Good. And then bend both knees again with your chest lifted. Don't drop your chest this time. Good. Widen that left inner knee. Feel that pushing wide of the inner thighs. And then extend the legs back to straight. Pull through everything. Chest forward, tops of thighs, back, back, back. Pull back through the top of your thighs. Nice. Good. And then step it all the way back. Nice long lunge. Nice job. Drop the back knee, arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Keep pushing the inner thighs wide here. We tend to get into a lot of forward and back action in Anjaneyasana. Push wide so that your hips, right, feel like they're expanding in space. I know we never say that. Expand your hips. Expand your hips. Get them wide. And then hands to heart center, please. Prayer twist. Right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Good. Keep pressing your inner thighs wide, feeling like your outer hips are going wide. And then absolutely you're pressing the front heel and the back knee towards each other for stability, but push wide. Good. And then right elbow stays hooked. Left arm comes to the sky if you'd like, or stay where you are. If you're reaching that arm up, you're lifting your rib cage up, come up off of your thigh more. And then if you want to reach for the bind, turn that left palm to face back, reach around behind you. Nice, Beth. Good. Finding the outer right hip. Opening, 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 heart to the sky and inner thigh still wide. Nice, Jan. Beautiful, Danielle. Nice melody. Good, Jessica. Nice, Lori. Good. Take that arm back up to the sky, please. And then bring it back down. Prayer hands. Unwind the twist, arms to the sky. Deep breath in. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good job. Both hands inside the front foot. Left shoulder inside of left knee. Slide that left hand behind the baby toe or behind the heel to the baby toe side of your foot. Good. Lift your back knee up. So you have that left arm wrapped behind your calf and your elbows stay bent. So don't rely on a straight arm here to hold you. Rely on your legs. Push forward with the shoulders. Push forward with that arm behind your calf and then pull your hips back. Lift your butt slightly higher, almost like it's in down dog. Good. So again, the legs are holding themselves and your elbows are bent and you're squeezing those armpits to the middle of your back. Don't drop your head, throat up. I know, stay awake. And then stretch your arms out wide, letter T, airplane arms. If you drop your head, that's a lot of weight that your spine has to hold, so keep it up. And then if you're going for that bind, go ahead and wrap the arms around the underside of your thigh. Really nice, Valerie. Good, Alana. Nice, Diane. Good, Marlene. Really good, you guys. Good, Susan. And then slowly unwind everything. Good, Ralph. Downward facing dog. I know my peanut gallery is doing a good job of not crying in the room here with me. And then drop the knees to the floor, please. Child's pose. Breathe deeply. Shiva and Shakti, we call it a love affair, but it's a love affair with yourself. Because Shakti is not actually separate from Shiva. It's the exact same energy, but one is in motion and the other is so completely in motion that it appears to be still. Put it that way. So it's as though that bright white light, what we experience as white light, if you take it apart into all the colors, the spectrum, it appears to be so many things. And those colors dance, right? They shift and they change and they form into so many different variations. But if you can see them from that wider perspective, as they just become that full white light again. It was never actually separate. This is Shiva and Shakti. So the ecstasy is being in the twirling and swirling of the forms, the colors, but never losing sight of the fact that it's still just that white light. And the brightness of that, the hugeness of that, the all-encompassingness of that, that's Shiva. It says, how could you possibly contain that in a body and a mind? How could you possibly contain that in the structures of your regular day-to-day life? You can't. So you live in the ecstasy of it inside and then still do whatever it is you want to do. But we forget to be ecstatic. Walk yourself back up, please. Nice. Come to sit. Take your legs out in front of you. Good. Flexing the feet. Legs extended in front of you. Flex the feet. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Press down through your seat. And then bow forward, stretching your belly, stretching your chest towards your toes. So one of my first teachers used to say is you fold forward in Paschimottanasana like you're going to put your heart on your toes. So don't reach your hands to your feet, reach your heart to your toes. A little different, right? Good. And then make sure that you can hold on to something, please, either your ankles or your shins or your feet. Start to cat-cow your spine. So you're still in that forward fold, but now you're moving. Good. Keep those toes awake. Nice. If the knees are slightly bent here, that's okay. Just dig down through the heels and keep pressing back through your seat so that you have as much extension through the lower back as you can. Good. And you're really focusing that area, we say middle back bra line. Focus that area but at the lower tips of your shoulder blades. Nice. Good. Next time you come into that rounded position, stay. So still holding the feet or the legs, round your back. Round, 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 round. Good. Scoop your belly up off of your thighs. Press down and back through your seat. Good. Round, round, round. And then release the rounding and just fall into your forward fold, whatever it looks like. Nice. Good. And walk yourself back up, please. Beautiful. Come to cross the legs. So right knee crosses on top of left for Gomukhasana. So you're bending both knees, stacking the right knee on top of the left. Feet are nice and wide. So you're sitting between your feet. Good. If you need a block or a blanket or something underneath your seat, go for that. If having the knees stacked in Gomukhasana does not work for you, sit cross-legged with the right shin in front of the left. Good. You guys are right. Nice. Beautiful. And then left arm comes to the sky. Bend the elbow, place the hand behind the heart. Here is where, if you want to, you can take that right arm out wide, turn the palm to face back, point those fingers down to the floor, and then bend the elbow, reach up to either hold fingertips, use a strap if you need, or just let the hands rest where they are on the spine if finding your hands is not going to happen. Good. Feel your middle rib cage, low rib cage pressing back into your hands, and feel that right elbow falling forward. I know it seems counterintuitive, but let your right elbow, that's the lower one, fall forward. Yep. Yeah, don't rotate it forward, but let it fall forward. Good. And then chest up, throat back. Nice. And again, if doing both arms here doesn't make any sense to you, you can always just work with the top arm. Right hand can come up to your left elbow tip and just really stretch through that left arm. Good. Welcome back, Anju. You were frozen for a second there. Nice. One more full breath. And then slowly release the arms out and down. If you can forward fold in this position, please do. If forward folding doesn't make any sense, keep your hands back behind your hips, lift your chest, and do a nice falling back into your hands, open chest. Good. If you're leaning backwards instead of folding forward, keep your groins pressing down to the floor. So don't let your legs or your pelvis rock back with you. Keep your pelvis rooted down. Good. Nice, you guys. Beautiful. Feet are flexed. And then walk yourself all the way back up, please. Nice job. Unwind your legs, please. Take your feet straight out in front of you. Bend the knees, plant your feet, hips width. Take your hands back behind you, fingers pointing towards your heels. Good. Bend your elbows just a little bit. And again, hug the shoulder blades, the lower tips of the shoulder blades towards each other. So it's not the same as squeezing your elbows. I want you to squeeze your back, but push your elbows slightly wide. Yep. Squeeze your back, but push your elbows slightly wide. Good. Now maintain that as you bring your arms to straight, lift your hips up into reverse table. Good. So I want you to squeeze your back, push your elbows and upper arms slightly wide. Good. Move your weight forward towards the tips of your toes so that all of your weight is not on your hands. Good. Use your butt from the back of your heart, lift up. Squeeze back on your heels. Nice, Jen. Nice, Alana. Nice, everybody in the room. Good. Relax your feet, Ralph. There you go. Release the hips down to the floor. Good job. Gomukhasana, second side. Left knee crosses on top of right. Stacking the left knee on top of the right. Feet are wide. So you're sitting between your feet. Good. Again, use whatever props you need underneath you. And if stacking the knees is just not a realistic possibility, then sit cross-legged, left shin in front of right. So again, this is not fire logs. This is where the knees are stacked all the way on top of each other, wrapped on top. Good. And then right arm comes to the sky, please. Bend the elbow, place the hand behind your heart. If you're going for the second arm, reach the left arm out wide, turn the palm, point the fingers down to the floor, and then bend the elbow and reach up. Again, either to hold hands, use a strap, or just press the hands against the spine wherever they rest. Good. And then you're softening that lower arm because we tend to really hyperextend it or pull it too hard. So let the elbow fall forward and draw your low rib cage back. Find as much of your rib cage finding connection to your hands as possible. It's a different way of being here, right? Instead of I got to get my hands together, so I'm going to push my ribs forward. Draw your ribs back and feel the connection of where your arms actually are, your hands actually are. Good. And a long throat. Don't get yourself stuck here. Right? The stuckness is not in the position, the stuckness is in your mind. The stuckness is in how you look for what is restrictive here instead of what is ecstatic here. It's a strange question to really ask yourself when you get up in the morning. Am I happy to be here? Very existential. But it is one of the main questions, right? Am I happy to be here? Am I ecstatic to be part of this world, part of this body and this mind? And if I'm not, how's that going to translate in my life? How is it translating in my life? And do I have the ability to change it? Yes. No question. Slowly release the arms, please. Nice job. Hands either come back behind you so you can lift the chest and fall back, or forward fold. Good. Again, if you are leaning back on your hands here, the legs are still crossed. You're keeping your butt pressing down to the floor. So try not to roll too far back on your sit bones. You want to keep the feet, not the feet, sorry. You want to keep your butt anchored to the floor. And the falling back is just a lifting of your chest. Good. So push the groins down, push your seat down. Yeah, it makes the back bend much more meaningful. Good. And then slowly release, please, walking yourself back up to center. Unwind your legs, plant your feet in front of you one more time. Hands back behind you, fingers pointing towards your heels. Bend your elbows just a little bit. And if your shoulders, again, are a tricky place here, take your hands wider. And if your hands are wider, even fingers turn slightly out, that's fine. But practice this feeling of you're squeezing your lower shoulder blades, but pushing your elbows, your upper arms slightly wide. Practice that. Squeeze into the back, push your elbows slightly wide. Good. And then take the arms almost to straight by lifting your chest and still squeezing those muscles of your back. And then press into your feet, lift your hips. Good. Use your feet. So let your weight fall towards the balls of your feet, towards your toes. Drag back on your heels. Good. Feel your inner thighs lift, your chest lift, long throat. Do a lion's breath here. Deep inhale, exhale, tongue out. Nice. And then slowly release. That was more for me. It was just fun. And then drop your hips down to the floor. Good. Bring yourself forward. Find your way onto your backs. I know we say that we don't make you do things just to entertain ourselves, but sometimes we do. Just full disclosure. Find your way onto your backs. If I don't have my daughter to entertain me, I need you to. At least I didn't have you just spinning and spinning and spinning on your mat to see how dizzy I could get you. Take your legs to the sky. Yeah. Legs to the sky, heels in line with your hips if you can find that. Arms can be however you want them to be, but an open chest. Just breathe. Good. Find that rebellious nature. It's not the mind being rebellious so much, but it's the mind turning itself inward to where there is infinite possibility instead of always staring outward and seeing that, but I have to do this and I have to be that, and time works this way, and this is how the world says that I have to be. Right? The dancing Shiva, as you turn that the other direction. You turn the attention of the mind inward. This is what we call meditation. This is pratyahara. You turn yourself inward. And what's inside is that infinite ecstasy. And when you're in that focus of the infinite ecstasy, as you might forget all the rules of your body and mind, and suddenly you would just be your whole self. And when we get to that state, right? And if you had a choice to say to be in that state of ecstasy or to not be in it, if you knew what it was, we're told, is you would never choose to not be in it. But we get caught. You get distracted. Shivaratri is that celebration that says, go home to your ecstatic self, so that when you're in this world, you're dancing with it. Love affair. Let your legs drop wide into a straddle. You're like, that's not relief. It is a little bit. The request was hips. Hips open and hips strong. So your legs are nice and wide, but feel like you are squeezing your ankles towards each other. Yeah. Solid. Beautiful. And now keeping the legs straight, squeeze the thighs towards each other, bring the legs all the way up towards the ceiling, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. If that feels like it was a lot of work, do 20 of them every day for the next week. And then bend your knees in towards your chest. Lucky you, we're only doing one today. Good. Take your right thigh on top of your left, please, wrapping the legs. Scoot your hips over to the right. Please drop your knees to the left, spinal twist. Good. If twisting with the knees wrapped like this does not feel good, then unwind the legs and just stack the knees on top of each other. Beautiful. Unwind your legs, come back to center, please. And then switch, take the left leg on top of the right, scoot your hips over to the left, drop your knees to the right. Good, so Jen, move your legs the other way, twist the other way. Yep, yep.
I think I did that side the first time.
Okay, well then you can switch it, but the leg that you have on top, ideally you want to keep it on top when you twist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. Slowly unwind your legs. Come back to center, please. Squeeze the knees in towards your chest. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees. Hug. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Good. And then slowly release, extending the legs out in front of you, arms alongside you, palms facing up. Settling for Shavasana. Maybe go back to that breath that goes into infinity, or back to that feeling that the breath that is moving through you, it happens through your body and your mind, but it doesn't belong to your body and your mind. This is the cosmic breath, the divine breath. The breath is not yours, the breath is you. said in the stories that when Brahma, the god of creation, created the world and all the things in it, including bodies and minds and egos and all of that, Shiva looked upon what he had created and he cried. He said, "What have you done? You've created so many circumstances for suffering and confusion and ignorance. What have you done?" He cried for all beings that were going to get caught in this. And Brahma said, no. He says, it's only the mind that can get confused. Creation itself is ecstatic, it's joyful. Shiva said, but you created the mind and the mind is going to get caught. What have you done? Tears of Shiva. But as each one of us wakes up to ourselves, right, the place of Shiva that is never caught, never confused. As we wake up, we reform the world, we reinvent the world, we reimagine the world, we reinvigorate the world as that ecstatic dance that it's always been. Mind becomes clear. You step beyond the edges of yourself, the way the world has always been in your mind, and you start to be in the world as your soul. Ecstatic, intoxicated. And the world becomes that dance. We're asked to wake up, to be Shiva ourselves, the one who is never caught, but is always intoxicated. Begin to let your body stretch and move, whatever ways serve it well. Drawing the knees in towards your chest. As you're ready, roll to your right side. Take a moment before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. And bring the hands to your heart center, palm to palm. One night a year, Shiva takes a break and says, it's your turn. And if you miss the opportunity on Thursday, that's okay, because every single moment of your life is an opportunity. It's your turn. Wake up. Become intoxicated again. Become in love, ecstatic about being in your body and your mind and your life. You reinvigorate the world. You create it again into what it's always been, an ecstatic dance. A love affair with yourself, with your soul. Between souls, yours and mine, all the rest of them. We'll close the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week until I see you again. I think today is Kirtan with Angela, later today. If you're interested in that, check it out on the website. And then next weekend, Sarah, is it next weekend, Sarah? Yes, I think so. Sarah and I have our workshop on unlocking the pelvis. It's next Sunday. If you're interested in that or have any questions, let us know. And then keep eyes open. Cheryl just started her Ayurvedic chef training. I know she's got other stuff in the works that she wants to be putting up as well. And let us know if there's something you want us to focus on. You know, let us know if there's things you're excited about that